Hi Taurus, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload many videos for Taurus and Scorpio on Tuesdays. Also, for those of you guys who are interested, the deck that I'm using today is called the Robin Wood Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description. And I do want to point out, actually, that with this Page of Swords, so since last time that I did these videos, I had the Page of Swords on top of the deck, and I just kind of looked at it several times over the course of the last day. So it's very interesting that it came out during this reading. So I feel that definitely a lot of you guys have been dealing with a lot of energy, sort of on the long term. You know what I mean? Like energy that you've put on the back burner for a little while. But just as a final heads up, I'm going to go for 8 cards here, maybe 9, depending on if we have an extra card that pops out. But as soon as we do, we can get started on your reading. I'm going to go ahead and put these ones away. And these ones away. Actually, I'm going to take these ones. But I do want to mention the fact that in those cards that I just put away, I saw the Empress and the Temperance, very notable cards. So I definitely feel that for a lot of you guys, you might be dealing with sort of higher levels soulmate energy. But just as a quick reminder, if you enjoy the reading, please leave a like or a comment. But like I was saying, your overall energy here is the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups is a very interesting card, right? Because the 4 usually denotes stability of some kind, and that's sometimes a little bit counterintuitive to the Cups cards because the water element tends to have that very mutable quality, right? So as a result, I feel that you guys right now are wanting to sort of get a little bit more out of a relationship, right? Because to me, this card in particular usually talks about dissatisfaction. And you can see in this guy's face almost that he's very... I'm going to actually try and see if I can get it to zoom in a little bit, but you can see that he's a little bit dissatisfied with his current situation. He has 3 cups, but he's craving that 4th final cup. And to me, usually I take that to mean that you've sort of played the game a little bit when it comes to relationships, and you're kind of done with that. And I feel like a lot of you are more ready to move into like more stable, long-term, lasting in relationships. Especially with this 9 of Pentacles here, and this 5 of Cups in reverse. So I do want to point out the fact that you have the 4 going into the 5, and then you have the 8 going into the 9. So I definitely feel that for a lot of you guys, with this 9 of Pentacles... Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that whenever you have those numbers that sort of ascend that way, to me, I like to think that that symbolizes a lot of progression. So I feel like things are going to be moving a lot faster for you guys than maybe you were accustomed to recently. I feel like you've been in a very slow, sluggish cycle. But like I was saying with your 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles is a very powerful independence energy. To me, it's I like to call it my single and ready to mingle card, right? Like this person is on top of her game, knows everything that she needs to, and she's ready to find fulfillment elsewhere now because she has these 8 pentacles. So she's ready to get one more pentacle and into the 10 of Pentacles, right? And the energy that comes before the 9 of Pentacles is the 8 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles talks about focusing in on a skill. So, you know, learning, harnessing your skills. So I feel like a lot of you guys are in a really good place financially in particular, and that's why you're sort of in this powerful energy. And with the 5 of Cups in reverse, I feel like you guys are ready to leave this energy. Because the Five of Cups sort of talks about like, oh, well, look on the bright side. And I feel like a lot of you guys have been in situations where it's like, oh, well, this wasn't a curse. This was a lesson, right? This wasn't a failed relationship. This was a lesson. And I feel like a lot of you guys are ready to sort of move away from that lesson energy and move into like this sort of stability energy, right? And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It is very interesting here that we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. So the Nine of Cups to me talks about wish fulfillment. And the fact that it's in reverse leads me to believe that you guys have some blockages coming in. But don't fret, and I don't think this is entirely a bad thing, and I don't think this is entirely like the end of the world either. Because you have the Four of Swords here. And the Four of Swords talks about rest, right? I feel like a lot of you guys... Oh, also, I looked at the clock just now, and it was 5:55. So, synchronicities are powerful right now. But like I was saying, I feel like now's the time for you guys to maybe pull back a little bit, you know? Like I was saying, you have a lot of this progression here with the 4 into the 5 and then 8 into the 9. But maybe it's time for you to sort of... pull on the brakes a little bit and move maybe a little bit slower, take things leisurely, because I feel like a lot of you guys have been in a period where you're like getting used to things going sluggishly and a little bit slower, kind of gives you some more like free time, leisure time or whatever, and then all of a sudden things get chaotic and it's go, 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 and you're kind of like stressed out about it a little bit, I feel. And definitely if you're getting into the stressed out energy, like take a second to rest, take a second to really compose yourself and take, decompress, really get your thoughts together. Because I'm looking at the Seven of Wands and this Three of Pentacles, right? And the Seven of Wands to me is my worth fighting for card, right? And it's very interesting that it's in reverse. So basically what I think is going on here is that you guys have been in the past, a lot of relationships where, or maybe even just like one big one, where you guys really said this is worth fighting for. And, unfortunately, I feel like you may have invested your time into someone who didn't necessarily appreciate it, right? And it may have been a messy breakup, especially if there were like kids involved or anything. And I feel like this energy of the Seven of Wands in reverse is so tied to this Three of Pentacles, because the Three of Pentacles talks about working together. And I feel like you guys need to understand that working together doesn't mean being alone finishing the project. And I feel like a lot of you guys were like that. And especially in the past, like you guys were in an energy where you sort of took the mantle of putting in all the work. And I always say that in a relationship, both people need to put in 100%, because if you put in 50 from one side and then the other person puts in like 100%, okay, so we have this conception that relationships are 50-50, right? But that 50 comes out of 100% from each person, if that makes sense. So if you have two people that are putting in if you have a person that's putting in like 100% and the other person is only putting in half, then you only get like 3/4, right? So you need both people to match each other and both people to put in 100% each, is basically what I'm trying to say. Don't settle for someone who isn't willing to put in as much work as you are. And I feel like in the past, that's what you've done. You've been, I feel like, in relationships where people haven't necessarily been willing to meet you halfway. And as a result, you just go the whole way for everyone, and that's not good, right? Because it's not sustainable and it's not stable either. And I feel like with this Nine of Pentacles going, right, because we have the 8 going into the 9, I feel like what you're missing here is this 10. And the 10 of Pentacles is what I call the happy wife, happy life card, right? It's a happy, stable home. And whatever that home is depends on you, right? Whatever that looks like to you. For some people, it might be a house. For some people, it might be an apartment with a dog. There may or may not be kids, whatever. It's up to you. But I feel like that's your next step. And I feel like definitely now you're sort of meeting someone here with this Justice card that wants to treat you right? They want, especially if they're from the past, they want to rectify what they may have done in the past. But you need to Four of Swords energy in here. You need to rest and you need to move things slowly. Even though there's the temptation here. Also, I looked at my timer again and it was 10:10. But like I was saying, you guys need to, with this sword, Page of Swords, you guys need to resist the temptation to go in blindly and rush, because the pages are the fastest of all the court cards, right? Especially out of the pages and the knights, which really denote messages, the pages are the faster of the two. So the fact that you have the Page of Swords, which is the fastest page, if I'm not mistaken, with the Justice card here, which is the element of Libra, there's a lot of air energy, a lot of quick, fast breezes coming through, right? So you guys, I feel like you need to take a moment, right? You need to ground yourself and just kind of slow down. Slow down and look for love. It's coming. But that was your reading first time around, Taurus. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Taurus videos on Tuesday. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings on the channel. And I hope to see you guys next time for a next reading.